Hi, James.
Hi.
Welcome to InstaEagle.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So, we're doing, this is
My name is James Zuniga. I'm the guy who made second with Mega Colony and Standard at Houston. Is it BCS?
Yeah, BCS.
Okay.
Bushiroad Championship Series.
All right, excellent. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad with names and
okay.
acronyms.
All right, so, I know it's been a week since the event. How do you feel?
I feel fantastic. I feel great, man. I was able to go in with Mega Colony, a deck that was looked down upon, and able to do really well. I feel great.
It's crazy how you you actually made second place with them.
Yes.
You almost would have made first.
Almost, but Asian James from Heroes, he's a very strong player. He's very well known around this area. If there was anybody to be able to beat me, it would be him. So I'm not going to take anything away from him. He played beautifully. Everything went well with his OTT deck. I mean,
What was all your matchups with Mega Colony?
so I had the 2-round bye because I won with Mega Colony the bye card at Baytown, and
I was wondering. Because
So-
you were here.
that's right. So I went to Baytown, won with Mega Colony. Round 3 was my actual first round playing. I played against OTT, and the deck decided to brick. So I thought, man, that's a great way to start the day. Next round, I had to fight OTT, and I got my revenge. And then the round after that, I had to
I guess it
fight.
was another OTT.
Oh no,
Oh.
it was Shadow Paladin, the trial deck. It was my first time fighting it, and I was scared. I almost lost. Every time I poisoned with Spark Hercules, he had the Dark Dictator to counter me. I was very scared.
Wild.
So,
wild.
Yep. So I barely took it from him, and I was able to win that round. The next round, I had to fight OTT again. Now, the match that was after that, I believe, so that was 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, round 7 was Grand Blue. Grand Blue was probably one of the hardest fights I had to do that day. It was against the guy who I actually played against in top 8 last year. He also played Grand Blue. It was our rematch, and pretty much everything pretty much was going in his favor. There was nothing I could do. He was just outplaying me left and right. But what got me the win in the end was Spark Hercules with Antlion and Phantom Black. That was great. He was 5k short thanks to the poison, and I was able to take the game.
Awesome.
Then the next round was against OTT again, against Bruce. I don't know if everybody knows him. He's either he judges, yes, Bruce Tran. He usually judges or he plays.
I actually didn't know he was playing inside.
Yeah, he was.
He was. Hello.
He was playing this time around. He was my 8th round, and he was playing OTT.
Oh, we played 8 rounds?
Yes.
I gave up after 6. I was like, man, playing OTT and I've lost this much? Nah. I'm done. I'm done.
Against Bruce, it was a game of attrition. It was back and forth. He hit my 2 Antlions. I hit his Victorious Deer. So it just was a drag-on attrition match. But I was able to out-attrition him and win the game.
Awesome.
Then in top 8, I had to play against OTT again.
So many? That's what this format is, though.
Yes. And then I was able to take it from my opponent, but I had to give it to my opponent, though. It was his first time playing at a regional, and he topped. At least that's what I was overhearing. I think he was from Austin. And he played. I could see why he made top 8. He was a very good player. But again, I survived his Victorious Deer turn, and we just attritioned each other until he literally was out of triggers in his deck. And then top 4, I had to play against a man named Andrew Williams. I believe he's from Alabama, if I remember correctly. He was the player who was undefeated with Mega Colony until we played. And
all the way from Alabama.
All the way from Alabama, yeah. Oh my goodness, if you would have played him, he was a fantastic player. He also made top 8 the next day in Premium with D-Police, yeah. He, fantastic player. He definitely knew his stuff. He was undefeated with Mega Colony. He had the Hell Demise version compared to my Antlion version. And honestly, as he said, the reason why I won is because I saw Spark Hercules first.
That's surprising. So he played D-Police in Premium, but he didn't play D-Police in Standard?
Yeah, he decided to play Mega Colony. He's told me he did a lot of playtesting with Mega Colony. He felt very comfortable with the deck, and it showed. He was undefeated. And yeah, again, I just won because I saw Spark Hercules first. I was able to do my minusing before he was. And then when I called Antline and did the Phantom Black turn with it, I drove check a heal, which gave the Antline +10, and it was just enough for him to not be able to block it. So that's how I was able to win that match.
All right, so we've gone long enough with all this. Let's go ahead and actually,
I love talking about matches, man. Each one was
a lot of fun.
Each one was a very hard match. Every single opponent I played against, I won't take anything away from them, man. They were fantastic. All right, so we're gonna start off with the grade zeros. So of course, I started with Machining Worker Ant. Now, I know some people have told me to try to do the Cicada instead as the starter, but I prefer the Machining Worker Ant because of the draw. The draw is just too important. I thought it outvalued the Cicada for later cheese plays. And then I also am running 4 draw PGs for the Paralyzing Madonna. And then, so that's the standard 4. And then I'm running 8 crits. I was originally doing 6 draw, 6 crit, but
go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, what made you decide to do that?
Honestly, I decided to go for the 8 crit instead of the 6 draw 8 crit because in my luck playing with it, I kept drawing the draw triggers, and they were not these. It was the other one. So I thought, if I'm gonna draw a trigger, I'd rather draw 15 instead of a 5. So that's why I decided the 8.
That's fair.
And then, of course, the 4 heals. So for the ones, I think this one is staple. The 4 Machining Hornets. I mean, he's a great. When you go second, you ride him. You swing. If they don't guard, you have a chance to search for a 3. I'm going to be honest with you. There have been so many games on Saturday where I didn't open with a 3.
So that was the most important card.
Oh, yes. And when my opponent went first, they were very happy. I was very ecstatic when I saw this guy. So I was very happy to see this. Very good on Ryan. Very good boosting, especially when you go second. Love it. And so for the other grade ones, I run 4 of the small captain, butterfly officer. All right, so in my opinion, there were 3 MVP cards. She was one of them. This card got me out of so many binds at the event. So
because of the +10?
Yes, it's the +10, yes. The +10 really did help, because when you call her and you rest her and give a unit +10, she was I really liked using her at the grade 2 ride, because I would usually have 2 2s and her. So I would usually ride the Mantis, and then call another grade 2, and then call her and give that 210. So he was swinging for a number, Mantis is swinging for a number, please give me shield. Please. So, and then the other reason why I call her the MVP is because she set up for Antlion. So many times when I would go to my 3 and I would call a Stag Beetle to rear guard, I would have the Antlion in hand ready to go, but I don't want to re-ride and wait. So I would just call her, target the Stag. So at the end of my turn, he would go into the soul, countercharge 1. It was great. I loved it. Came in so much clutch. So definitely one of the MVP cards for me that day. And then I run 3 Spiteful Hopper.
Why is he so spiteful?
Because he wants you to be at no face-up damage for you to get his skill, and that's pretty spiteful. Freaking Hopper. So how many times did this guy go off for me? Not enough to run him at 4.
That's fair.
So I ran him at 3 instead. Usually what happened to me in the tournament was I would open with him and her, and I had to choose, okay, which one do I want to do on my grade 2 ride? Honestly, I chose her a lot more. But there were a few times where the +6 actually did come in handy. That's why I kept him at 3. Because sometimes when you're swinging with a Stag and a booster and you hit a 30 number, that's awkward. But if you make it to 36, now you're hitting over 33. That's a better number. So that's why I kept him at 3. And now, for the second MVP of the day. Oh my god. How many games did I steal with Phantom Black? A lot. So this guy, the way I see Phantom Black and Antlion, they're if I'm going to lose, I might as well go all in cards. So a lot of times during the Saturday event, I actually had a low amount of cards in hand, and I knew I wasn't going to survive my opponent's next turn. So when I saw him and then I saw Antline, I thought, well, I'm going to call both of them in the rear. I'm going to do Spark Hercules, and I'm just going to go in. If I win, I win. If I lose, well, I lost. So he came in such clutch with the no normal units. The +6 also. Man, it's fantastic. Must say, definitely run it if you can. It saves lives. Even though he's a Mafia Man, saves lives.
So, like, specifically you ran 2 instead of 3? Normally,
Yes.
No, a lot of people run 3.
Actually, a lot of people I've seen online ran 1 or none. Because they just didn't feel that this card was worth running it. Like his
if you try
cost.
to run 1, you might as well just not run it at all.
Exactly, that's what some people argued. And I would like to say that in my case, if I didn't have this, I wouldn't have made second. So I think he's a very valuable card to have. Mafia Man saves lives. So grade 2s, I think they're going to be pretty typical. For Mantis, I always wanted to ride this card. Love riding this card. If I can't ride it, seeing him later on doesn't hurt either. I didn't actually care the fact that he had the search of a grade 3. I cared more for the +6. Plus, so when you ride him and you counterblast and you search, if you get a 3, that's cool. If you don't, it's all right. But when you're swinging 15 like OTT likes to do, man, it feels nice.
Yeah.
So having him at 4 for a 15 swinger is great.
If only he had the same ability as Promise Daughter.
Oh, that would be great. But Bushiroad doesn't like Mega Colony that much. And so, next important card, I wouldn't say MVP because I actually didn't get his skill to go off as much, the counter charge. I honestly saw him more as a 15k attacker, just like Mantis. Because that 15 plus, like say him, makes it 23, and man, that's a number. And he's also a shield leader. I noticed that a lot of people kept guarding this. They did not want this to hit. So I would take away 15k shields when they don't want to use it because they know an Antlion's coming.
So does he have like an on-hit ability or?
Yeah, his on-hit is Vanguard, rear guard. If he hits anything, you countercharge 1 and give another unit +6. And he's one of them. Definitely run 4 of. If you run less, I really hope the other cards you put in are really good tech cards, which I like spicy techs. So spicy techs are great.
We tech those.
And now the card that I ran it at 3, but I wasn't too sure about it.
Watergame.
Was Watergame. So how many times did this effect go off for me? Hardly ever. This guy actually came more clutch in top 8 than the rest of the Swiss event. I just never had the counterblast for it, really, because I'd rather use it for my grade 3. So in honesty, what I used him for was for effect and attack targeting. So if I call this to rear guard, my opponent's going to see it. They're going to know what it does, and they're going to say, I don't want him to draw 2, so they'll waste an attack on it, which allows me to keep valuable shield in hand. Or if it's Kagro, they're going to say, well, I'm going to waste a counterblast and kill it, so you don't get your draw. Like, that's fine.
You don't kill the Watergame.
That's right.
The Watergame kills you.
That's right. But in top 8, he did come in handy a couple times, but in honest reality, I could probably cut him for something else. But as of right now, he's my attack deflector. All right, so for grade 3s, I run 9 grade 3s, not 10. So I run the boss for Spark Hercules. He was actually the reason why I wanted to build the deck. When I saw that he -5, it was great. I loved it.
That's such a good ability.
Yes. The -5 is what sold me to the deck. The rest of the units, they were cool, but this guy, oh
but
man.
no one can ever be as cool as a Watergame.
I don't know, man. Like, he look cool and all, but come on. He's green, bluish, and he has lightning. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, that is.
So, that's right. So, there's the 4 that I run.
That makes sense.
Now, I know some people questioned me on it. They questioned it to me at the event. I only run 3 Stag Beetles. I don't run 4. I know a lot of decks online run 4. I run 3 because honestly, in the tournament and in playtesting, I only really call 2 units from the soul twice. The third one, I would call him. There's really nothing left to call out of the soul. So I really just liked them at 3. 4 felt too cloggy, never really resolved the 3rd and 4th. By that time, the game was usually over. So, but that doesn't mean he's a bad card. He's an amazing card. He is the reason why they have a field. And then combining him with the Spark Hercules that says stand all your rear guards, rest all your opponents, minus your opponent's 5, plus all your units 5. It's devastating, especially when you go first. Oh. So that's for him. And then the third MVP, the other reason why I made it to second. This guy steals games. I wouldn't be where I am today without this guy. This is a good card. Run it. I know Hell Demise is great, but this guy, he's great.
So he helped you with your taxes?
Yes. Yes, he did.
All right. Just making sure.
So, like against Grand Blue, against OTT especially, against Mega Colony player as well, who was undefeated. They were short of blocking this guy because of him with Phantom Black. And then on top of the minusing with Spark Hercules, it's just too devastating.
It's very good.
So, yes, it is. So that's why MVP number 3. So yeah, that's my deck as a whole. Do you have any questions you wanted to ask me?
No? Any kind of shout-outs for our viewers, for everybody? Shop, all that other stuff?
Shout out to Kevin, who made top 8 in preview with Mega Colony. He is the true Mega Colony player, not me. We go to the same locals, but if there's anyone who plays Mega Colony better, it's that man. Shout outs also to all my opponents, every single one. Everyone played their hardest. I really had a lot of fun playing everybody. The names I know off the top of my head: Bruce, James Tran, Andrew Williams. Everybody I played. Fantastic games, guys. You made me work for it.
But it was worth it in the end.
It was worth it in the end, man. It was a lot of experience gains, a lot of sweats, tears, and happiness. And that's it, guys.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Look forward to being on here again.
Yeah, definitely.